York City, New Jersey, resident, I want to give you all the tea on what it's really like to live in New York City. So let's get into it, like I said earlier. So, just to give a little context, I went to school in New Jersey. I did a 5-year plan at a school in Hoboken, New Jersey, and I successfully graduated and got my first big girl job in New York City. New York City. So, obviously, I'm going to stay, right? I'm going to live that like New York City life. Well, COVID hit. COVID. I'm not trying to bring up any old wounds with, that whole situation. But COVID hit, and I had a decision. Do I want to stay, and try to live out this New York City dream of mine, or go home? So I ended up staying, and I started my full-time job in New York City through the global pandemic. So that is just where I want to give y'all. I want to start with that, be honest, of what time frame I was starting my adult life, in New York City. Like I said, I went to school in New Jersey for 5 years, so I was in and out, but I did not commute every day. I was there for fun. I have a safe haven in New Jersey, but we'll get into the everyday grind of New York City. So I start my job, and obviously it's a little different, with having COVID in the city. It's really strict. You were wearing masks every day. I was going in and out, but it seemed like it wasn't exactly what the city, was before. Obviously, nothing was the same during COVID, but as the years went on, life started again. We were able to go to restaurants. I was able to meet new people, eventually meet my boyfriend now, and I started to go out and truly live that New York City life. But what comes with that is reality. Like I said, I lived in New Jersey when I went to college, and I decided to actually stay there. I moved to different cities within New Jersey and commuted into New York City. So I know that commute. I lived and breathed it. Throughout COVID, I still was going to work every day after November of 2020. So I was on those trains, crowded, masked up, following those rules, and just, obviously with all that came a lot of like paranoia and like, oh my gosh, am I going to get COVID? But like I said, as the years went on, things started to relax and we were able to do more things. But one thing I've noticed with that is that there are a lot of people in New York City. And, you think about that, you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to New York City. There's millions of people that live there, but you don't really feel it to when you always have to be around someone, whether they're your friends, your coworkers, random people on the streets, but you are commuting, and it's a city with great public transportation, great options that aren't, a car. There are plenty of cars in New York City, but you can move to that area and not own a car or have a car. I did not have a car the 9 years I was in the tri-state area. So that means you're never alone. Obviously, you're using public transportation. So that really kind of got old after, I would say, out of my 9 years, year 7, or just kidding. Let me take out college. After the 4 years I was there post-college, it got real after year 2 of commuting. I was like, oh, I just want to be in my own space. I don't want to have to put my headphones in. I just don't want to like hear other people and their conversations. And commuting during rush hour when COVID kind of like got more distant from the genesis of it, there were so many more people commuting, whether it's like Tuesday through Thursday, because a lot of people still work from home Monday and Friday. You're just cramped up. I've like this is just like muscle memory now, like holding on to the railing, holding on to like a pole, and like having to like always be on because those trains move so fast. But that was something that like you don't realize until you're in it and you're commuting every day, and the noise, the overstimulation, like there's always something. And then when you get into the city, it's just New York. You're on, there's people, it's beautiful, but you're also just like, wow, there's just a lot going on. You have to pay attention. Cars are driving fast. Like you never know what's going to happen. And with that aspect, like you never know what's going to happen. You hear all these horror stories of people going down in the subway and something, just horrible happening. So just always being on really had me in like the fight mode. Like I was just like always like, oh my gosh, is something gonna happen? I have to be aware. I have to, I'm trying to get a seat. I'm trying to get home. I'm trying to make this train. Like it's very fast paced. So again, you start living this like, you know, very not relaxed life, and that really like compounded on me, and it really made me into someone that like I just couldn't relax. Like I felt like, I always needed to do something. Obviously there's so much to do. There's always a happy hour to go to. There's always friends to meet up with. There's concerts to go to. Millions of things you can do in New York. But I was ready for a slow and just like, more enjoyable life. So that's number one, the overstimulation, and just with that comes people, noise, and just no alone time unless you're like really in your apartment. And then you can also have bad neighbors. You can live below a family of 5 that lives in a 2-bedroom apartment. There's just a lot. So yeah, that's my first point. Just be aware of that, your life changing in that way once you move. Second point, the cost of living. So I guess the only good thing about COVID happening is that the prices went down, and that was majority for apartments. So I was able to get so many COVID deals with various roommates, and that like made it, kind of like, oh, okay, I can do this. Grant you some things are closed down, you have extra precautions, but I was able to afford living in that area, especially with the salaries that you're making. You're still kind of making the same, but cost of living is low because it's a global pandemic, and not a lot of people are in, the tri-state area at that time, and a lot of people moved out. So yay, they're looking for people to like rent out the apartments and whatnot. So that was like great. But then you guys kind of get the running, theme. COVID kind of is more in the past, and then we're in the present, and rent just kept going up. And I had fun in New York. Like I was like going to concerts, going to Michelin star restaurants, especially after meeting my boyfriend. Shout out to my boyfriend. I love you. We had so much fun, and maybe a little too much fun. Like we both love a good Michelin star restaurant, and luckily there was a lot. And we had so many great memories, and I've had so many great memories with friends. I was throwing parties and whatnot, like really enjoying the like New York City life. Like it really is kind of like what you see when you're kind of watching New York based sitcoms, TV shows, but you don't realize the financial aspect of that. You're spending more money. You probably are making, your salary is going up ever so much a year. You're like, if you get bonuses, you get bonuses. But for me, I still had student loans, and I had a little bit of credit card debt. And, when it starts small, it gets bigger, and you kind of know where that goes. So if I had one advice or one, point to make before you move to New York, is make sure you are more on the debt-free side than obviously, having debt. Like going into New York, it's very manageable. Like I'm thinking, I go through my finances. It's like, if I didn't have that chunk of student loans, that could go to eating out, traveling. If I didn't have this little credit card debt that slowly is inching up because I'm just saying yes, 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 and not really thinking about like what that means for me financially, that's going to get bigger. So then the amount that you can actually spend each month is like this big. And then obviously you don't want to miss out. So you kind of like supplement, and then your debt's getting big and whatever. So that's what kind of was my personal story. So that's what I'm saying. If you're going to move to New York, make sure you are like really like have a grip on your finances, have a grip on what you can actually afford. And they're saying, find an apartment that might not be a lot of rent each month. It's going to be hard, but just know that like, you could be in the house. There's a bunch of free stuff that happens in New York. Summers are great. You can go chill at any park. But, the moment you go to your Broadway show or a concert or a nice restaurant, like you're going to start, developing that bougie mindset, and it might get out of control. So that's what happened to me. And I just want everyone to be warned about, that could definitely happen to you. New York is a great place with a lot of opportunities, a lot of going on. But you can get lost. You can get lost really easily and really fast. And that's what happened to me with my financial journey. So reason number 2. So last reason, or I'll kind of say 2 more reasons, but they can kind of come together. I felt stuck. So I have no car. I commute every day in and out of New York City, but I'm commuting to work 5 days a week. And it gets a lot. You go through your job, you might not enjoy it as much as you did when you first started. You're growing out of a situation and you're just like, what am I doing? Like, I'm coming to the city, I'm working majority of the day, I'm commuting back, I'm overstimulated, the checks aren't checking out, like, the money's running out, and I'm like, well, what do I do now? Like, am I gonna just, like, be here and, like, not do anything just so I could, like, pay more towards my debts and, like, just be in the house, be in this, like, expensive apartment that, like, is going up each year? No, that's what I decided. No, like, it all just kind of starts to, like, pile up on you and you're like, what do I do? What do I do? And kind of leading into that, like, I really wanted to just get out for a weekend. I've seen so many people do it and that are blessed that have family around or have cars. They're able to go out to, like, the Finger Lakes, go out to, the mountains to go skiing, go up to, what's it called? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. No, yeah, the Finger Lakes. I went to the Finger Lakes to go wine tasting with a couple of friends and my boyfriend. But yeah, that was a blessing. They were willing to drive out there, go to the beach, the shore. Let's go to the shore. Okay, well, how do we get there? And, you can only ask people so many times, like, can you drive or can I borrow your car, whatnot? Like, you just want the freedom to be able to, like, escape. Even going to, like, Montclair, like, am I going to really take a train there or a bus for hours and then get there and then have to, like, you're not on your own time. You're on public transportation time. You're on your friend's time. You're on, like, anyone but you time. So it just kind of, like, felt discouraging and then led more to being stuck. Like, being stuck can be being stuck, feeling stuck at a job, feeling stuck in this big city with nothing to do, feeling stuck in your apartment, feeling stuck in your financial state, like feeling stuck in, like, friendships, feeling stuck, like, it's everything, and it just all compounded. So with that, those are the main reasons I left New York. Again, this is not everyone's reality, but this was mine, and I think it can relate. Like, I spent 4 working years there and I grinded it out. And it was like I said, it was fun at first. COVID kind of threw a wrench in some stuff, but it was like, oh, I can commute. Oh, I don't need a car. Ooh, I'm in, like, working, I'm getting a check. It's, again, I'm getting that check though, but was there much to do? No, I can eat out, but it wasn't like I was eating out all the time. I had a lot of time to cook at home, right? It was COVID. A lot of free workouts, working out and, online in the park. Like, everything was, like, very, like, we're all in this together. We're going to get through it together. But once that was in the past, it was like, all right, pay up. Pay for your Pilates membership. Pay for your yoga membership. The subway system's going up 25 cents or whatnot. So it was just like, okay, I'm ready to, like, just do something new and figure out my life and, move on. So that's what I did. But before I wrap this up, I want to give some honorable mentions because there's one thing that started to really annoy me. And it brought me so much joy in the beginning of me living, and this is, like, college. Like, I was so excited to, like, live in the Northeast because they have 4 seasons. I'm originally from Texas. It's hot most of the year. Then you have the seasons where it's, like, perfect. You're doing what you need to do. You're outside. It's 80 when the rest of the country, or most of, I would say to the east, are, like, dealing with, like, cold temperatures, and obviously the Midwest. And you're like, well, it's, if it's 30 there, it's usually like 50 or 60 in the South. So I was like, wow, 4 seasons. I can finally feel cold. I can get my little, winter jacket. I can get my boots. It can like, oh, I can feel the, the energy of having a fall, winter, spring, and summer. Mind you, it got better as I stayed in New York, New Jersey area, but it was hard. Winters were rough. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You're either going to figure it out or you're going to be on SSRIs or anxiety medication. I don't know if that was the right abbreviation, but it's that. You're going to have to like buckle up and figure it out. And I started, one year was bad, but the rest of the years I was able to figure out. But I was like, no, I don't think I'm a Four Seasons girl. I'm like a couple of cold months and warmth. Like I really do not see myself ever living on the East Coast again, just for that reason. So take out everything I said. Maybe this should have been on the main list. The weather just, it wasn't for me towards the end. I was just too cold, too cold. But yeah, so that's my honorable mention. So just be aware, your wardrobe is gonna be changing every 3 or 4 months. But I know I kind of like said all these like reasons why I left. They're not bad. They're just reality. I want to tell you a couple of good things. So if you're from anywhere where, maybe it's not as diverse, or, you thought one way your whole life and you're like, this is the way, go to New York City. Go to New York City. You will find people that you've never, have seen, met, many ideas. You will make friends that you were like, wow, where were you my whole life? Like, there's so many people that are looking to go to New York City. So you're going to be like exposed to a lot of different things, people. You're going to find yourself. You're going to find your truest, most authentic self. And I stand 10 toes down on that. I thought I was one way. I came back home. Like now I'm back home in Texas. And I'm like, wow, I am so glad I was able to learn and just, experience a different way of life. Whether that be people, whether that be culture, whether that be food. I only ate American, Italian, and Mexican food growing up. And then I had, Chinese takeout. There are so many genres within like, different types of food. I won't get into it, but I live in the most diverse city in New Jersey, or in the whole United States. It was the diverse city in the United States at some point, and let's just say I'll eat anything at this point. And that's crazy for me. I literally would be the person that would be in the friend group, be like, oh, let's go to an Italian restaurant because that's what I like. And everyone would be like, really? And I'm like, yeah. Now I'm like, let's try this. Like, I love a good omakase, like raw fish dinner. And those also are expensive. So I'm really bougie and really not picky in that. It's like a blessing. Like, I just want to open myself up to any opportunities, anything. Because 9 times out of 10, I fall in love with it. I love it, So that is like just literally the most, the biggest blessing of moving, away from home, especially to New York City. Like I said, wow. I've learned a lot. I've seen a lot. I've grown up a lot. Wow. Move away from home to grow up. that's a good one too. But you'll figure it out. Through all that, could I have stayed? Yes, but it would have not prepared me, for the next stage of my life. Like, I'm almost to my 30s. I'm ready to just like be financially free, be flexible, can move places, can like be, just more free. And there, I was stuck. I was overstimulated. I didn't enjoy the weather. Like, so, you will grow out of places, and sometimes it might be your forever home. But for me, I haven't found that yet, but I am back in Texas, spoiler alert, and I'm enjoying the time I have here to, work on some things, my health, my fitness, which, obviously is your health, and my financial journey. So I will definitely update y'all. I did a video at the beginning of the year, explaining all my goals for this year. And I'm really honing in on that, being in a really safe space and like really an opportunity to really tackle my goals quickly so I can move on with the rest of my life, y'all. But I just wanted to hop here and tell y'all my journey. Hopefully it gives you insight and some, more clarity of what life could be in New York City. Again, just a little spark notes if you are like, wow, this girl talks a lot and this is a lot of information. Be prepared when you move to New York City, financially, mentally. Just be prepared that it's a city that, you're going to have to go in with a strong mind. You could go in there, it could spit you right back, be like, nope, not you. You're not here at the right time. It could welcome you with warm hands and be like, welcome home, sweetheart. Like, it could be anywhere in between there too. But, my journey is like one of the biggest blessings in my life. And I, after saying all this, I would highly encourage you to first move away from home. Second, move to New York City. It was so fun. Like I said, I met my friends for life in that city. I had so many memories. I became a bougie girl because of that city. So I cannot wait for the rest of my life, but it won't be ever in New York again, but we'll see where I end up. And I am so happy you guys lasted this long if you're still here. But if you need any advice, shout out, come to me, and I will gladly give you more tea about the city. But thank you guys for tuning in. I am so happy you guys come and, listen to my videos every week. If you really like my videos, I would appreciate it if you subscribe. That only helps my channel, and I cannot wait to pump out more videos this year. That is also my goal, to post every week. 75 soft got me, y'all. I've been really in the grind. I just finished that about a week ago, and I have a video about that too if you guys want to hear my journey on that. But yes, tune in every week. I love you guys, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.